Hello everybody, welcome to the ITK Soccer Show. It's the 24th of November. We're back after international break, which we'll be starting off with by talking to Dan about his experiences over in Austria. A historic win for Ireland, which puts them in a ridiculously good position this early in World Cup qualifying. Obviously, we also have all the weekend's action from the Premier League. We'll be talking Champions League as well, and we'll be telling you what we know so far in tonight's Europa League action. Obviously, there was early kickoffs, but we're still waiting for the Man United and Dundalk game in particular to kick off. We also have all the news as well, including our usual teasers, awards, and update on our fantasy. How are things? Our fantasies. What's your fantasy, John?
It's too early for that sort of thing. Like we're recording the show like before like
The watershed.
So you know.
Can't talk about getting a blowjob with a donut around your cock.
Why would that be my fancy?
So there's just a thing
I
that
thought
came
it
up
was
yesterday.
stuff in his face with toffees or something.
Came up where?
Hey, listen, enough of that. That's a bit cheeky. Dan, how are things?
I'm grand, not too bad. Great time in Bratislava in Austria. So I've been asked to go to the Tbilisi game in Georgia, but that's a little bit mad to go. So
Who asked you? Like,
What's
FAI?
mad?
the same people.
What's
Those are-
what's mad about it?
Well, it's like a 13-hour flight. It takes like 2 days to get there because it's 3 flights.
Oh,
Sure you weren't looking up
You
Georgia
fly-
in the States?
No, Georgia's very far away.
that's a very good question. Are you sure you weren't going to look at
No,
flights to Atlanta?
No,
All
I
right.
wasn't.
Going to see Big Billy Baby. All right, moving on. No, not moving on. Dan, tell us about your experiences over there, please.
That was great. Euro a pint, €2 for whiskey. Saw a terrible game in the first half. Saw a decent performance in the second half. It was a great time.
That was good first half. Thought Austria played well.
I thought first half we were like bad without doing anything wrong, if that made sense. Like
Yeah,
as long as Austria weren't doing anything. First 5 minutes we were in trouble, but I thought second half, actually the best thing ever happened was when Glenn Whelan went off. We had more legs in midfield.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Alaba didn't really care. Arnautovic was their only player, and Bart Gartlinger, their captain, I don't think he seems happy. So I think that your man, the manager, Kohler, has lost the dressing room. They didn't look.
Yeah, Alaba was atrocious. Like he's
But it was
like they were
simple.
saying beforehand that like he was in bad form going into it. But I remember the last time we played Austria, he was incredible.
Every Austrian I met and was chatting to, they're like, "Why is Alaba not playing on the left behind Arnautovic?" And that is the dream team they want on the left. But I was like, "But you don't have your best
Will
player."
that be a bit lopsided if they were both on?
Well, that's the thing I was thinking.
yeah.
You have in the middle. Everyone wants them on the left back, but yeah, look, we did really well. And, Myler came on, did really well, and McLean was probably his best game he had for us. Like he worked the amount of running he did off the ball. I couldn't believe it. Like he
took his goal very well.
he took his goal very well. There was one thing where he sprinted from some penalty box and then bashed. I think it was. I can't remember who it was out of the way, and it was brilliant. And he got all the way to the other box and. Then he got right back and sprinted right back. Like, he didn't even see it in the camera, but we could see it. Like, I was up in the heavens, but it was pretty real. And we were never in trouble until the last 5 minutes when Yanko missed, like, a sitter. Don't know, but, like, I thought we were really worth our win, and we're ranked 22nd now in the world. Which is the highest since before Euro 2012.
I went like mad at the McLean goal, and I couldn't figure it out because like I support Ireland, but I wouldn't be mental. But I was jumping off my couch, and I couldn't figure out what like got me so happy about it. And I realized to put a microphone in the net so you could hear it, and it just improved everything. Even if you watch it now, it just sounds a lot better.
Very good.
Could you
That's
hear the
everyone
fans? Like,
Nice
I watched the
production.
match back again, but I was kind of listening out for the fans. But I thought we were actually outsung the Austrian fans. It was like 3,000,
I
3,500.
don't really remember the fans.
No,
but it's a big
wasn't
stadium,
listening
so
as much
it's
as I was
very-
watching.
watching.
Stadium.
If
It's
you catch my
actually
drift.
dive.
It's an old stadium.
It's a
That's what I
dive.
heard.
But I thought the goal, Wes's pass, was something else.
Yeah, it was very good.
Because most people would have just gone and given the ball to McLean out in the left
Yeah.
and have a run at the fullback. What he did, he actually put it in between the centre half and fullback from McLean to Ranta. And now everyone's calling McLean James. So now he's kind of got the whole, like, obviously, Hoolan's is called Wes because it's just easier to say, I suppose. But the only person who ever called it was Paul for Paul McGrath.
Yeah.
So now he's kind of getting to that James status now
So
after the goal.
first name basis.
It's first name basis, baby.
Has there not been any? No, I guess.
Look
there's
at
not.
like Shay, maybe Robbie.
Yeah, Robbie definitely, especially
Richie.
when there was two Keanes in the team.
Well, yeah, that's kind of why.
But
Roy
that
or
would have
Rob.
been that would be.
But like, you know,
I understand
it's
that.
a brilliant win, and we're with Gareth Bale potentially out for that. I'd say he'll recover because he's fucking built like a tank. He'll probably recover, but he won't have had much game time. So,
What was the crack like in compared to the Euros and stuff? Like, how many travelling fans were us there? And
there wasn't as much, but there was because obviously if you have tickets, like, you know,
Yeah.
it wasn't like the Euros you can make a week of it. Like,
was there scenes though?
Oh, it was amazing. It was really good stuff. I quickly left Austria and got back to Bratislava on like drinking cans in the bus and everything. It was great. It was just really good fun. And I'd definitely go again, but I wouldn't go to. I'm not going to go to Georgia. Sorry, whoever's listening, but I'll try and get to definitely another game in mid-Europe. Definitely try. I'm not going to go to Wales though. I think there could be trouble with that.
So overall, like, what do you think of the chances of Ireland qualifying are now at this stage?
To be honest, we've pretty much limited. Like all Austria can do now is affect who goes through.
Yeah,
Austria can't go through now.
Exactly. Yeah,
They can't. They're not going to out-jump 3 teams in a 2-horse race when they're 6 points behind us already, and goal difference and head-to-head is against them. And they've played all 3 the big teams like at home now, and they've only taken 1 point.
Yeah, it's insane.
So it's not a good start for them. So they're can influence people. Serbia, I think, are the dangers. If we can stop, if Bale's not playing against us in Dublin, we should go out and try and beat them. If we can beat them, we've got Georgia away. I take a point there. I beat Moldova home. That's another 7-8 points. It's at least second, probably tied up. But I think don't be fanning around for a second spot. We need to go on top of this fucking group. Forget about fucking players. Just go on top of the group. We've got this chance now. We haven't been top of a group. I honestly can't remember that's the last time we were top of a group. I think it's probably 96, 95. I think was last time we were probably top of a group after this many games.
Somebody who's not top of their group are Argentina. They're in a bit of trouble.
They're smoking the wacky tobacco.
Well, Lavezzi supposedly was smoking the wacky tobacco, and Messi had to come out and brought them all on stage at a press conference and said, "We're not talking to you because you're all shits," and walked away to the press.
Agreed.
It's very interesting.
Apparently, though, the whole Argentina setup now is gone insane.
They're all
Do you remember that picture of Lavezzi that came out like the second show we ever did?
Yeah, he was rumoured with
Do you remember this?
He was rumoured with Liverpool.
He doesn't
Is he a
remember.
banana or something?
He was eating something.
Think of the exact opposite.
This is a very dirty show.
It's already gone
doesn't
very
matter. It doesn't matter how many times you say
He might
it.
have been wearing the donut, but the picture was of him in a sailor's cap.
No, it was a pilot's hat.
I remember that now, yeah.
He was aviation, not navy, my friend.
It's a whole different set of studies.
Anything else from the international break that you'd like to discuss?
Coutinho and Neymar look absolutely great. Like, Brazil destroyed Argentina.
He's tapping him up as well.
Yeah, well,
Don't
Suarez
think
is
he's
doing
not
that.
tapping him
Suarez just pops down to Melwood every once in a while. Like, glad to
Yeah.
be back with his arm and
Yeah.
playing FIFA. Well, he's on the couch playing FIFA, and the camera's like a little kid. You think is a little kid looking up, but it's just Coutinho there because he's a child.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's fine.
Talking about Coutinho, I was looking at it today. His, I've always said like what was his big issue was not scoring enough goals and assists. His highest ever goal tally, I think, was the year that this slip. I think he got 7. Maybe it was the year after he got 7. And he averaged 5 pretty much every season. He's already on 5 after, I think it was 11, 12 games.
Yeah, 11.
And he's already hit nearly as much assists as he had last season as well.
So
he's
as
really-
we
he's
discussed
re-
on
he's
the
really
last show,
actually-
it might have changed in this past week, but when we were doing the last show, he was the highest rated number 10 in England.
Well, no,
now
like,
it's an Ichibi.
Victor.
but like he's really doing what a lot of good players, like he's kind of getting to that level now. Where
Yeah,
he's-
you always said he wasn't Barcelona
I think
standard.
he's, well, like now,
Now is he?
yeah, like he's,
Will he go? I think
No,
he'll
I
go.
don't think he'll go. I don't think he'll go.
You don't?
No, I do.
I don't think he'll go because I don't think Barcelona are going to go for him.
I think
I think they have bigger issues. I think they don't need more attacking players. I think they need a fucking right back more than anyone. Like they need they've no right back.
Do you not think he'd be an improvement on Rakitic?
No, he won't play there. He's only play his best position at the moment is actually left of a 3 in a free role.
Yeah.
He's not going to get into their front 3.
No.
It's not going to happen. So is he going to get game time? Because when everyone's fit, Iniesta is going to play.
I always thought he'd be
Busquets,
playing in the Rakitic role,
and then
personally.
Rakitic. But Rakitic is the legs up and down. I don't think Coutinho doesn't have that.
Well, he doesn't. I guess he wouldn't have the
I personally don't
defensive
think that-
prowess of Rakitic.
Not, I don't think this. I think maybe 2 summers time he might go.
Talking about Robbie Keane.
Oh, we just should mention that the Wales got charged because their fans wore poppies.
Wales fans wore poppies.
Yeah.
I didn't think that
But it
the
is-
fans were going to get in trouble.
But you know,
Well,
I've seen. I think
That's
it's
fair,
Ajax
actually.
fans have. I think it's Ajax or some Dutch teams. I don't know where the link comes from. They've had Star Davids to support Israel,
You sure?
and there's nothing ever said about that.
Aha.
I don't know. So you know.
That's weird. Okay. Robbie Keane and Shamrock Rovers. Is there still a link here?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Is it looking good?
I don't know. I don't read what's happening with it, but there's definitely a link. There's definitely talks.
I heard Australia.
I don't know. I think Claudine will want to move back to Tala, would she? Well, she never moved in Tala, but like,
he's Irish. He has to like go to Australia for at least 6 months, and then he can go back to Rovers.
Who set the precedence for going to Australia for 6 months?
There has
Damien
been that
Duff.
thing today.
Damien Duff.
Del Piero,
Well, Irish.
Tim Cahill, who lives there.
Well, all I know is Rovers have tweeted pictures of
Emil Heskey.
Yeah.
Do you remember
and
Heskey Cam?
Robbie Fowler.
Robbie and Hooperman at a game they had 2 years ago, and Robbie and McPhail, and they're tweeting. Actually, people were going, "Are you signing Robbie?" And you go, "You never know." Smiley face. Like Rovers are actually the one thing I'll actually be annoyed and pissed off, really pissed off, if Rovers don't sign it, because it's getting to the stage. It's like you can't actually
Build the fans up that much?
You can't, but you can't.
Maybe they're just trying to get more followers on social media, Dan. It is 2016.
Doesn't work like that.
Well, if people feel that they might get a scoop.
And they said they are going to sign a big goal scorer, but
Twiggs coming back.
That's not keen.
could be
No.
Twiggy.
Well, we will see.
I'd watch this space definitely, and the McPhail link. Obviously, they've played with each other at club and international level, and they're similar age and everything. So I wouldn't. And McPhail's the new sporting director at Rovers, so I wouldn't rule it out. But I think they have to try and get him and maybe convince him to give money to charity or something like that as his part of his wage or something. But he doesn't need money. But that's what Duffer did for 6 months.
Yeah, well, that was his choice. We'll see. Look, if he does go there, he'll take a
Be
very,
huge.
very small wage.
Number
I'm sure.
7 is waiting for him as well.
Okay.
Vacant jersey.
Gareth Bale, we mentioned earlier, out for 3 to 4 months. Did this happen in the Madrid match? Or was he out?
Don't know. It was announced today.
So
which I'm
nobody
happy
here
enough
saw
with.
the Madrid match? Yeah, sorry. I wouldn't have brought that up if I knew.
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
Okay. Pause red.
Football podcast. This is.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So Barry Bennell and these allegations and Crewe Town specifically,
Alexander.
Crewe Alexander in 1994 and whatnot. So this supposedly, obviously this is shocking stuff, and the FA have reached out to him. They're helping him with counselling. They've been helping him for quite some time before it became public, supposedly. But people at the top are saying that they knew nothing of it, and there's rumblings that a lot more of this will come out. This is very strange, isn't it?
See, the big issue is Crewe were the amount of young talent that they've actually produced throughout the lower leagues. That's what they were the best at. Like they were kind of like the West Ham or of the lower leagues, and they were always producing. And they had a manager called Dario Gradi, who was there for 33 years. He was longer than Ferguson. Either at a manager level, and then he went to sporting director, and everyone, like, he was Crewe, like they loved him. Like, he was the guy producing all these players and all that. He said he had no idea of it and all this, but it's going to say, like, there's been big players come out, and there more allegations come out, and the police actually want more evidence because he served his time, but can he be put again? Because I don't know how the works over there. But if you've already served time for, I'm just saying,
What
do
did
you
he serve
think one
time
person-
for?
Same thing.
He was
Okay.
caught already, but
caught.
all these more allegations that he was doing
Okay.
some, like David White is a former international. He was at Man City as well, and this guy Bennell was there at Man City as well.
Mm-hmm.
He played for Leeds too, and he came out 2 days ago and said, "Yeah, he did to me." Like there's loads more, and he says there's loads more. And like he used to, it's horrible stuff. But what he's pretty much done now is he's already served time for doing to someone, but now, does that mean he's free, or can he be put away again for doing it to someone else because he wasn't charged? I don't know how it works, but like you kind of like imagine like you're not really surprised by,
Mm-hmm.
really
surprised
like,
no stories is more stories have come out.
that's what I'm saying. You're not really like, how is this only the first one? And it's going to come widespread now.
Football is still very much a kind of a show no weakness sport and mentality, and I think for the same reason that there's been such public kind of hush about gay players, to the point that after we have one come out, the media are like on a witch hunt for the second and third and fourth. I think it would be the same thing with stuff like this. I think the lads just maybe didn't want to hurt the club. They didn't want to put anybody in a difficult position. They maybe agreed to keep to themselves. Maybe they didn't even talk about it. It's such a delicate subject, you don't know. But have any of the has there been any rumblings of this going beyond Crewe?
Oh, I'd say it. Look, you can't imagine it hasn't.
Like, everybody
you can't, like-
every club in the top 3 divisions have youth academies. some very large, some very small, but these are young kids that are being taken out of school a lot of the time as well, and dedicating their lives to it and spending a lot of time on those grounds. And I don't know, but from in my mind, it just never occurred to me that was a possibility until
look, I suppose you don't really, but it's life, though, isn't it? Like,
yeah, it's.
But again, I think
we'll
you're right,
see.
though. You said though that it's a macho kind of mentality, like, and like you look at, for example, rugby union. Your man, is it Gareth Thomas, the gay fella? Like, he came out and nothing but all the fans were really really got up behind him, and the players and all that. I can't imagine a dressing room with people the likes of, I'm just like John Terry, someone like, I'm sorry, I just get this mentality. It's like, it's terror, and the piss would be ripped out of him, like, badly for being gay. Like, imagine Thomas Hitzelsberger in that dressing room
There's
the last 10 years. Like, there is this still horrific thing in football that you're almost scared to come out and just say what's on your mind.
There was a program on RT last week. I didn't get around to watching it, about like how it's a very straight orientated sport and that sort of thing. I didn't actually get around to watching it, even though it looked quite interesting. I will for next week. I really don't know enough about this Benno thing to say anything more about it. It was weird that the crew manager said he knew nothing about it, and but that was in 1998 when your man got arrested or whatever, and he came out recently and said the club told me not to say anything. But apparently one of the things happened in his house.
So. Okay.
No, I think there's a lot more to say.
Yeah.
That's absolutely. That's why
there'll be a massive investigation.
Well,
into
obviously,
it, but,
we'll see what happens. It's going to be a week-to-week thing, but no, you're right though about the acceptance aspect of just alternative lifestyles,
or even I know it's going to be different. Like, the first black player in Britain was a guy Albert Johansson. He played for Leeds. He actually gave him his first game, first black player, and he was ridiculed. Like, it was just, if any amount of been different from the standard white man having no. I know it's slightly different topic.
That's happened in every sport.
Well, John Barnes was still getting bananas thrown on him in 1989.
Neymar came out and said, "Oh, they're booing me because I'm a black player." And it's like, we're booing you because you're shit, mate. Like, this is stuff.
Well, it is a mentality in football,
like,
though.
all this sort of stuff happens. Like, look at the president who just got elected in America, blatantly out of racism things. Like, it's going to be racism, homophobia, and everything.
I would say that rugby is slightly more forgiving, just because it appeals to a slightly more middle class demographic.
Absolutely.
Where football appeals
to
to
a higher
the
class. Like, football is the poor man's game.
Exactly.
It always has been. It's obviously it's going to have the worst people involved in it. Like, they're the ones that get advertised.
Speaking of people
start
who
a podcast if they wanted to.
people who are bad, Shirley Sherlock came out and said that basically you can't really trust Mourinho, kind of directed towards Man United players, saying that Mourinho lost faith in him when he had to take 2 weeks off because he had an infection, a staph infection. So
who said this?
Sherlock. So he said
Can't
that
be serious.
Sherlock. So that's incredible. Seems Mourinho is just an absolute lunatic, as I mean, found out.
He just seems to
There's
be
a lot of
believing
talk-
his own shite.
There's a lot of talk that football is sort of past Mourinho by. See, it's hard to believe because I watched the United Arsenal match, and we'll get onto it. But United looked better than Arsenal. And
Do you know what? Let's just do that now.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with Premier League, and the first game, as John mentioned, was United and Arsenal. Arsene Wenger looking for his first win over Mourinho in the league.
ever, is it?
It's not ever, was it?
It is.
It's ever,
He's
yeah.
only beaten them in the Community Shield.
It ended up 1-1. Mourinho said it basically felt like he'd finally been beaten by Wenger in the league. Mata was awarded a penalty in the... Well, do you want to talk about the first half? First half was shite. Oh, sorry, Matt.
United were maybe like...
It could have been. It was.
I watched this for friends. I don't think it was, but
Wasn't.
I can see why.
Yes.
He was sort of going down, but Monreal was like... I don't think... You know what I mean? If it was Liverpool, for instance, I probably would have screamed that's a penalty. But United, Arsenal's first shot on target was with Giroud. United are just... They were the better team, but so sluggish.
They weren't... Like, Arsenal were just terrible. Like, Arsenal... I don't know how many times I said it, but if Santi Cazorla is not in that midfield... Like, why the hell he has bought Granit Xhaka for 30 million and continually puts him on the bench when he's the only guy, if Cazorla isn't playing, who can pass a ball and dictate play? It really does not.
Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't trust him.
But he doesn't trust him against Watford, He doesn't trust him against Sunderland, and then he doesn't trust him against Man United. So who is he going to trust him against?
I don't know.
When he's playing all the different teams of different parts of the division.
I think
and in Europe he doesn't play. He didn't play him against PSG.
I think their problem is in matches like this, tough away matches, and Old Trafford away is always going to be tough. There's no reason, especially after an international break, to play Sanchez as a lone striker because he got bullied. He was awful. Now I know you guys have argued that he should play there, and I think they have Bournemouth or something this weekend, like Bournemouth home. There you play Sanchez, you play the quick, tricky player. When you're playing a tough away match in Europe or here, he's useless. He's weak. He's for a lone striker, he's weak. He's not quick enough.
I'd like to say, well, he's very fast actually, Sanchez, but I
not like as a lone striker.
I'd like to cut him some slack. To be fair, he did play a couple of games with Chile, had a hamstring injury, and arrived back in England on the Friday.
That's what I'm saying. He shouldn't have played.
That was a bad mistake by Wenger. I wouldn't be actually criticising Sanchez for that. I thought in the first 20 minutes he was the only person for Arsenal. It didn't really come off for him, but he was the only one trying to do something. I thought once that just ended, Arsenal were terrible. They were so bad. And Giroud now has scored 8. He scored, is it 8 goals of his last 9 shots on target?
Wow.
Or something. And he's still not getting a game.
No.
But
would you not say that's working though? Like he came off the bench at Sunderland and scored. He came off the bench.
Can you say Arsenal's performance has been good since the Chelsea game? Probably not.
A lot of Arsenal fans were saying today that
Arsenal in November.
Even though it is. A lot of Arsenal fans were saying today that even though they are undefeated this week, that it's 2 of the worst performances they've ever seen by their team. Now, obviously, it's pretty tough opposition still if you're talking about United and PSG. But that Giroud goal was
they're not going to win the league. They're nowhere near winning the league. They're absolutely... they're further off this year than they were last year to win the league.
Yeah,
they barely scrape second against Leicester.
I would say they are the 4th best team in the league this year.
Oh yeah, that's why. They're currently second in their group in Champions League. That's what they always do, and they're 4th in the league. There's no
Spurs there.
There's nothing about it. I think I could see they will get top 4 by getting 4th. They'll have their usual maybe times where they dazzle people and are really entertaining and brilliant, and then at times they're just really lethargic and flat and just no leadership through that team. It
was 2 lovely goals, to be fair. The Mata goal was quite a lovely finish. And the Oxlade-Chamberlain cross to Giroud, 2 players who I don't really think are that great.
But why is Chamberlain not getting a game when he's actually done okay?
I think
when
he's
come
better.
on in a few games.
He's better off the bench. I think when he starts, he goes missing.
But sometimes if you're on form, you just give him a fucking goal. Giroud definitely deserves to start in the league. Definitely does.
Any comments on United in general?
They were better, but they weren't.
They're still dropping points.
Their back 4. It's the worst back 4 I've ever seen them start in a league game.
Bad.
Well, I know I've seen Carrick and who else? Darren Fletcher play centre half against Fulham.
That was insane.
About 5 or 6 years ago, they actually lost 3-1, I think. But that was by proxy. These guys are actually defenders that they have.
Yeah,
Rojo is not good. Jones playing, and who was left back? Darmian.
Yeah,
and Valencia right back. Really not great. I thought Man United, they never should have drawn it. They deserved to win, but they weren't brilliant. But again, I think they just need a win to start kickstarting things. So they've drawn so many matches now, and just they're blowing points. If you ask any Man United fan, 4th place, absolutely take 4th place. Regardless what happens anywhere else, if they get 4th, that's a good season. Well, it's not a good season, but it's a good recovery.
Yeah, considering where they're at now.
They said they're going to accept sign Eber for another year.
They are?
No, Eber says he chooses if he wants the contract or not, is what he said.
Well, United said they would, and he's like, I kind of want to go to America.
Yeah, they basically offered it to him.
Let him go.
Yeah, we'll see.
He's not worth it. He can't run.
Well, he has got 5 or 6 goals.
Who do they think now? They were after.
He has. I don't know.
They're after someone else now for 100 million, a new player in the summer.
Neymar.
Who?
I heard a new name.
There's a few people that would go for 100 million though.
I thought it was 100 million, but I heard another big name they want, and it's just you can't just keep buying big player. It doesn't work like that. You can't have to build a team from something, and they've lost all the the Ferdinands, the Giggs, Carrick come to the end, Vidic, ever. They lost that spine, and they just replaced them with either mediocre players or try to buy Galacticos. It just doesn't work.
Do we want to mention poor Wayne Rooney being cursed by his Irish heritage and getting hammered?
Oh, this. Go ahead, yeah, sure.
I just thought it was funny, Daily Mail going, Wayne Rooney has no choice. The Irish blood through his veins.
okay, listen.
Is his granddad Irish? Or how was it? How far did he go
Who
back?
cares?
I don't know. The granny he had sex with.
In this day and age, right? Was what he did bad? I don't think so.
No.
Not at all.
He wasn't. He was told he wasn't playing.
I think it's just because he's in
Tuesday.
bad form. Like a story was like Henderson and Lallana went to a strip club. And it's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
Like
Henderson and Lallana went to a strip club, and
That's good.
whose wedding was it, or was there
No,
a wedding in the hotel?
a
and he
wedding
just
in the
kinda-
hotel,
and he
he
kind of
just
just
went
sat in the
down,
bar, and they
There,
invited him
there
in.
was one thing that made me laugh. Like, it's like I think the line was like, wedding guests were amazed when they saw England captain Wayne Rooney sit down at the piano, expecting him to like sing, and he just smashed the keys.
oh, did that actually happen? Oh, okay.
To be
That's
fair to
fantastic.
Rooney, right? Has he been any worse than really any other Man United player this season? Obviously, there's been
Yes.
one or two. But I don't think he's
I'd say Mata has been good this
No,
season.
I'm talking take Mata, one or two, three of them out.
Uh,
Has he been much worse than any other one else?
No, but
He's just getting scrutinised for it.
United,
And he's been able to have a few
yeah,
beers.
United fans
Fuck
are
it,
saying
like.
he hasn't been at that level, like at his level since Ferguson.
His last
And
good
maybe not
year
even
was
his-
actually he had 6 good months under Moyes. Actually, believe it or not, he had
yeah,
6
maybe,
good months
and he
that year.
hasn't been that good since. It's the fact that the no English manager out of the last 3 have all made him captain, and all made like no one's doing anything about him. Like United fans have wanted him gone for a while. Apparently,
Mourinho has dropped him this year.
yeah, but
Like he can still be club captain. Like just because you're not playing well doesn't mean you should shift to captaincy. Because captaincy doesn't mean it's all about playing and performing brilliantly on the pitch. That's not what a captain is. A captain is how well you train, how you well in the dressing room, how well are you leading the team, how well can you, if there was an issue
Exactly,
with it, you sort it
and
out. Rooney could be good at that. We don't know. That's what a captain is. That's what I always go for a captain.
Well,
yeah, but
like
that's
you look
fine.
at it as tribute like a Dirk out.
Yeah.
What does he give you? He gives you 100% effort.
Yeah.
Rooney, I don't think you can't really still fault his effort.
Yeah,
Like,
but
he
the problem
doesn't
is,
not
no,
care, but, like,
money is the issue here. You know what I mean? Like, if Paul Pogba was a young lad coming through, you wouldn't get as much of abuse now that he's on 100 million. Wayne Rooney would not be getting the same abuse if he wasn't, 1, captain of his country, and 2, on 300 grand a week, and has not been a good player for a very long time.
That's
and
very
is still
true.
Playing on. He came on against Arsenal. I think he put in a decent cross at one point, but again, he's too slow, and whatever, you just...
He's also adopted the thing that the entire Man United team adopted last season under Van Gaal, which is the side pass. Like Rooney very rarely passes in front of him, and if he does, it's a Hail Mary cross field ball and they're not coming off anymore.
Speaking of Van Gaal, you know Moyes still has the best record.
Yeah, of
out
the
all
3,
of
yeah,
them.
it's amazing. You mentioned earlier having to bring in another big player. What's quite amazing when you have the opposite problem and you're doing pretty well in the league, but you've got your biggest yet to come back. And this was shown, Dan, can't wait to talk about it, by Yaya Touré's performance.
amazing.
Delighted for Yaya.
Against Crystal
PFA
Palace.
Player of the Year.
Delighted for Yaya.
Oh, he was trying to close down. God bless him. Do you see him?
Oh, look.
Oh,
That's what I said. You text the group like, oh yeah, I was playing. It's like, oh, he's turning the afterburners on, and then it reads every half an hour, afterburners on fire.
oh, but
Dan,
Palace are
in
now.
all fairness, if you told me at the start of this season that when I suggested could Yaya do anything for this team, you were just...
Oh well, okay. So if a man's unfit and doesn't want to play and wants to leave, do you think a slug like him wants to do it? And if he is motivated,
I think the
Yeah,
ability
if
was
he
an
is
issue.
motivated,
Yeah.
I think the ability was an issue. You were like,
No,
Neil.
no, I've never said his ability has ever been an issue.
Ever since he got slow, even.
No,
he's
I've
such a
never
little
said that.
slug.
I have never said his ability has been an issue. I said he's a slug, and if he
No,
doesn't try,
his
he doesn't-
ability is an issue. Look, I couldn't believe he was back. Fair play to him. He wrote the apology to Guardiola and the fans. But Guardiola has his record will always be remembered. They are literally the worst team of any
England.
English league in 2016.
Aston Villa and Sunderland. No, Aston Villa have more.
Palace
points.
had their moments. There's a few things about this match. The first goal was 1-2. Yes, it was a nice finish. Connor Wickham's goal was a blast. Bravo is an awful keeper. Company got injured again, and
He's gone.
And
Crocked.
City's second goal, I think, if one of us had conceded it in a game of pro, you'd throw down the controller.
Yeah.
It was a corner that just slid all the way to the back post, and Yaya, the little slug, couldn't believe his luck, catching his breath, and all of a sudden the ball's at his toe. Like I was like, we'll get on to the Liverpool match. Obviously, I was watching it, getting a bit annoyed, but I was looking at it going, oh, it's 1-1. You know,
Yeah.
City are dropping points. Arsenal dropped points earlier. Looks like Spurs are dropping points. All the sort of that doesn't make any sense because Spurs played a 5. But I was like, everyone's dropping points. It's grand. And then City scored that goal, and I watched the highlights going, these bad. City are bad.
Can I make a point about Bravo?
No,
The more I see Bravo, right?
he also injured company with his big fat thigh.
Well, that wasn't
He,
his fault.
he
was
did.
it? Like,
The only thing
Yeah.
he was able to stop was Vincent Company's peanut head
claim the
going
ball.
into the goal.
Company couldn't disappear. The Rock's
The
head.
back of Rock's head. But listen, I've started to think with what happened to Valdez and what's happened to Bravo, that it's pretty much now 100% confirmed that due to their tremendous amount of possession and lack of actual goal mouth opportunities against them, that Barcelona have just really got away with having bad keepers the last few years. Because when they're out of Barcelona and they have to actually be goalkeepers, it doesn't
To
happen
be fair,
for them.
Valdez did miss 12 months.
He
And
did.
he was all right.
He was
Chelsea.
quite good.
Ah,
He did miss 12
But I
months.
completely agree with you.
Thank
Like,
you.
do you remember when Valdez signed for like United over Liverpool?
And we were
oh,
the angriest
Liverpool are
men.
really missing out. And then Valdez finally gets onto the pitch, and like Walcott like takes the slowest shot
He
straight
still
out.
could have been better than Ming last year. We don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. Anything else about this? It's a big win for City, really, and all. Like if they're to keep challenging, it's
Archie's
stuff like
in
this.
trouble.
Oh yeah.
I could say, I don't know if he'll last the season. That's 6 defeats in a row. Is it 5 defeats in a row? For Palace.
Yeah.
Like they need the goals of Hugo really to keep them up, because they've kept 2 clean sheets in like, is it 20 odd games, 30
Zaha's
games?
looking all right
Yeah,
though. Like
he
everyone's
is not bad.
bench midfielder in fantasy football.
You know
leagues
the
is
thing
looking all
about
right.
Benteke is that in terms of signings in the Premier League this year, his WhoScored.com that we always go by rating, he's actually the 10th best signing this year.
But he's scoring goals. Like, well, he's scoring a few goals for them. He has to. If he scores the goals, he'll keep them up. But Palace, like, there's no point them having 2 4s and 2 1s and 3 2s and like so many late goals you're conceding as well.
Everton hosted Swansea as well at 3:00, and I think if there was ever a game this weekend that you'd say that's probably going to be
I lost
one
10
all.
euro because of this game, because I fucking put the last man standing in work. It's like, oh, we're starting last man standing. Like, all right, who do you want? Everton. I was going to pick Sunderland. I was honestly going to pick Sunderland because Hull are that fucking bad.
We have to pause the show again. Claire has come in here with every single one of Robbie Fowler's breathing apparatuses in the 95 season put together on her nose.
I'm getting rid of my blackhead.
You know you're on a podcast here.
Yeah, I also live here.
Okay.
I also maybe said to the record that Neil put me on these.
Damn, yeah.
Yeah, there was
You're revealing why I have a hairy nose. All right, moving on.
What?
You're ripping it off. It comes back, you know.
Is that
So
why Robbie Fowler wore them?
no, he wasn't trying to get rid of blackheads.
Yeah,
They're supposed
just
to
dealing with a coke problem.
relieve. Basically, they're supposed to relieve the idea of your nose ever getting blocked, isn't it? When you're,
Something, I don't know.
Yeah, they were
Weird.
very hot property back in the day.
And they realised it just didn't work.
Probably.
Just blow your nose before you start the match.
Players-
Might clear you out.
Players still put the Vaseline on their chest, don't
No,
they?
Vieira
they've
used to always do
stopped
it.
doing
Vicks. Sorry,
It was
Vicks.
No,
Vieira.
that's like one of the magical things Arsenal brought in.
It's
at
just so you're
Arsenal.
running around smelling eucalyptus the whole time.
Yeah.
Having to mark Vieira, at least you smell nice. Like,
Okay, so go on. Everton, Swansea. I only saw the goals.
Swansea are bottom of the table now.
Bob Bradley.
It's kind of
Coach
surprising.
Bradley.
Coach Bradley.
Bob Bradley. Everton, the manager's too busy starting a war with Martin O'Neill and the FAI about his Irish players than he is with managing his team.
The Coleman goal was late, wasn't it? Basically,
Coleman
yeah.
goes the last minute. He goes
yeah,
Great header.
this was very upsetting for poor Bob Bradley. Would have been his
He's-
first win.
He's the first Irish player to score in the league this year. And do you know what Martin O'Neill
is he
said
not
about
the only Irish player? Surely McLean's got a goal.
I don't think. I think he's the first
I
one
think
to score.
McLean's got a goal.
You know what Martin O'Neill was saying about the war with Koeman? O'Neill said he'd rather call Hillary Clinton or even Donald Trump ahead of Koeman.
Oh,
Uh,
Martin, you're
What,
so
what was the
witty.
Roy Keane line as well? It's like, it's not as if Everton are winning trophies.
That's a very good point.
Rory Keane just says it like without even laughing. It's like, yeah, so what?
Think Swansea could go down, lads?
Yeah.
Like they'll probably sack Bob Bradley. I do think Sunderland and Hull are worse, but yeah, like I think they're in trouble.
I'm worried that there's a recall clause in Carl Bartley. He's on loan with Leeds, and he's playing really well with us. Good centre half partnership at the moment with Janssen.
Barkley.
Kyle Bartley, not
Bartley.
the basketball player. And we've got
What podcast do you think this is? For those listening, me and Neil just looked at each other in a question of like, yes, a basketball player.
He was in Space Jam. Berkeley.
And
And,
of course, that's his only knowledge.
Come on and slam.
He would walk into Swansea's defence.
You know that song, don't
Of
you?
course I know Come On and Slam.
Come on and slam.
The hack of Bill Murray socks and that.
I like
Bill
Bill
Murray-
Murray's
Bill Murray
the
likes
umbrella.
money.
I like the umbrella on his hat. Playing golf.
Bill Murray loves that hat.
Murray loves money.
Bill Murray loves wearing t-shirts with his own face on it.
It's me
Did you
too.
see the picture of him, or is it Tom Hanks?
There's a picture where you don't know who it
You
is.
don't know who it
Yeah,
is,
it's
yeah.
like them, like face, like old man face molded up, and it could be either. Or. I think it's. I don't care.
You actually don't know who it is. Like,
Okay, Southampton, Liverpool. Adam Lallana was injured for this game, and it really showed. It was a very frustrating first half. Southampton had the best defender in the league, and that was more evident than anything else in the second half, where Liverpool had about 7 or 8 chances. Matip should have taken 2. Firmino should have definitely taken one of them.
Klein should have taken one.
Klein should have taken one. But
I think it's a good point. I'm sorry.
really,
Like, Arsenal
You're
won't go
right.
there and win. I know Chelsea there won, but Chelsea haven't conceded
Southampton
a
are
goal
doing
in 7
better.
games now.
my one takeaway from this is Van Dijk is the best defender in
It's
the
very
league.
fast. I couldn't believe how quick he was.
He was very. I took away from this, and I was very angry at the time because I think Klopp left it a bit
Daniel
too late.
Sturridge should have come on at halftime.
I think
not started.
He should have started around 60, and maybe he really should have got more time.
Look, he would. I think he should. I'm just going to say this, and you guys know that I'm a little bit kind to Daniel Sturridge. I might like him more than others, but in a game where Adam Lallana is injured, right? And the fact that fucking Phil had just come back from playing.
Yeah,
for
I don't think
Brazil,
Phil should have played 90
and
minutes.
Phil was actually there was a picture taken of him in Merseyside General on Friday night getting a scan. Why would you not play Wijnaldum, Can, Henderson, and have Mane, Sturridge, and Fur playing?
Is Firmino not in the Brazil squad, is he?
He wasn't. He didn't go this time, didn't he?
No, Firmino.
He did, but he didn't play
Did
the
you not
last
hear
game.
the story about that?
He didn't play the last game.
Liverpool, PSG, and Man City all paid 50 grand to get a private jet to get all their Brazilian players.
Certainly worth it.
And they nudged. They gave Chelsea a bit of a call, and they're here like, here, do you want to get involved here? Get Willian back, have him for Sunday. Nah, we've got the afternoon Sunday game. Leave him there.
Willian is completely out of favour there.
Yeah, he is
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
But anyway, go back to my point. And look, and if that's not attacking enough, sacrifice Chan or Wijnaldum, and then you put on Phil.
The only thing I'd say is that just think it's Sturridge's work rate that I don't think he'll trust him to do it for 90 minutes. He will do it maybe if he comes off the bench for 10. He might go get me a goal, run around.
He looked great when he was
No,
on.
I'm not saying. Yeah, but again, that could be against a tired defence. You bring him on against that
He
tired
also,
defence.
he also looked great starting for England
But
in their first game as well.
I
in
just
Scotland.
think though. Yeah, but the way he wants to play.
I know this movement stuff, but like you're playing an away game, you're playing a game where we probably won't be able to be as fluid as we have been in the because like this is Southampton. It's not like Swansea away.
If I like when I thought about it, I honestly still think watch the full 90 minutes of this in Chelsea, and I do think that Liverpool are still at the minute the best team in the league. They created so many chances. The match could have gone either way. Klein missed a good chance. Matty missed a free header.
2.
Firmino missed a 1-on-1. It was really just
Firmino's miss was just sickening.
it was outrageous. Liverpool were always going to drop points at Southampton on the international break, and Southampton are a team that will probably finish top 10 this year.
Oh, they will
and
definitely.
they could create nothing. They tried everything. They brought on Shane Long. They brought on Jay Rodriguez. They couldn't do anything. They could not get out of their half. Southampton's 2 defenders. One of them will probably sign for Liverpool.
Oh, at
in the
least I
summer.
can't wait for Van Dijk there next year.
Van Dijk goes.
Van Dijk would be unbelievable for us.
The thing I like about Van Dijk, like he's actually proven this year he actually can defend. Because I always put that question mark when he's at Celtic. I always thought he was a slug at the back. I don't think he cared. He's like, I'm too good for this league. I always thought he got off him, and you don't like that mentality. But since he's gone there, he's gone with Koeman, you're in Puel now. They actually seem to like organise good defences and stuff. And
Yeah,
but like I always thought he was just a good ball playing centre half.
no,
But
he's a
he
beast.
he can fucking defend.
He's a beast.
Like he likes a tackle. He loves heading the ball away, and he's a class act. And what a buy! He's what, like 6-7 million.
Yeah,
He's probably worth about 25-30 now.
Easy. Speaking of which, it's almost a running gag now that after a game like this, or especially a game that Liverpool lose, they're going to be immediately linked with Southampton players. Like, they're our feeder team. They're the ECW to our 1999 WWE. But the fact is that another rumour that was going around at the same time linking Liverpool to Van Dijk was the idea of Sturridge going to Southampton in January on a loan, and
It's
then
pretty much a weekly thing where Sturridge is going
Yeah.
to like I think we could start.
But was
A
that
bingo
the
type
Arsenal link? Was that true in the summer?
no.
Wasn't.
No.
Because I heard the rumor was if Arsenal could get Sturridge, Leeds would get Sonogo. I didn't. I was like,
I don't think football
Is
works.
Sonogo still there?
Yeah, fair
yeah,
play
the
to him.
postman.
Okay, Stoke and Bournemouth. Bournemouth getting a very good win away from home.
Stanlas is becoming like a secret sort of.
He's a
Like
his
getting
right
a-
foot is so
yeah,
good.
he's getting a
Beautiful
lot of-
right foot. Yeah.
It was a good win for Bournemouth after they're playing like all right, but I know they dropped points against Sunderland last week. But the funny thing that came out of this was Charlie Adam, like in the build up to it, said he wished he'd stayed at Liverpool for longer than a year because he could be doing Jordan Henderson's job. All I can imagine is, have you ever played football, like obviously years ago, with your friend from college, and like he went for a few beers and then last minute he goes, okay fine, I'll play football, and he plays football for about 10 minutes and then has to like walk away and just vomit in the corner for like 5 minutes. That's how I imagine Charlie Adam would play in a Jurgen Klopp team, just like
Yeah, you
I
could
don't
do the
understand.
long range passing, but
I don't understand his
a little bit like
mentality.
Henderson can run and run and run
Yeah.
and run all day, and this fat fucker, like, you know,
He's ran more than any other player in the league. So his idea was if I stayed one more year, in 6 years' time, I'd be playing Jordan Henderson's role.
pretty much that's
he could have won a league title.
He would have been the difference. Would he have slipped? Anyway, never mind.
He would have
Look,
played the DM role later.
Well,
Gerrard would have
let's
been
be
on the
honest.
bench.
If
Yeah, Gerrard would be
if
on
he
the
got the
bench.
ball where Gerrard slipped, he
Look,
probably would have taken his shot. So
I'm not doing this. All right, Sunderland and Hull. Really, really, really big result for Sunderland, and Hull continue to drop that.
You know, Jermaine Defoe scored the
underdog
most.
thing.
Is an English player who scored the most goals.
behind
2016.
behind Harry Kane.
No,
No, it's 18 goals in 2016. Only Harry Kane is more.
you sure?
Yeah, because I watched Match of the Day before I got
It
there.
has to makes more sense.
But,
Some record though for Defoe.
but
If
the-
he's
I
second,
said this
like,
about 5 weeks ago to you. I was like, lads, Defoe is just secretly just still scoring goals all the time.
he's doing a good job there. And Anichebe's, I think they've got a bit more adventurous. They're two up front as well.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of helping them. They can go a bit more direct. Knock it
They-
up to Anichebe. He can hold it up. Defoe can in a flick on, and they might like Defoe can play off scraps. That's all he needs. He's not a link player.
The difference-
he can't play a link game with Defoe up front by
The difference
himself.
between these two teams is that Sunderland are relying on an aging Defoe, and Hull are relying on like Snodgrass.
He's not fit.
Yeah.
Sorry, Defoe's goal was just.
Did Snodgrass
Yeah.
play for Scotland against England?
He did, yeah, and he was fucking. He gave out shite to some guy who wasn't give him the ball.
Ah, yes.
Oh no, I watched that match in an Irish bar. Oh my god, Scotland were terrible that game.
Yeah.
But England were much better, mind you.
Yeah.
But Scotland, I can't believe Gordon Strachan has not just left yet. Like they haven't won a game. They haven't actually got I don't think they've got a draw against anyone decent since us in 2015 summer.
Yeah, they've been
it's
falling off.
like a year and a half.
I like Gareth Southgate. I think he's the perfect fit. He's not a big name. He's not this kind of guy who's been linked
He's not
for
a great
years.
manager, though, is he?
They look so much better under him, don't they?
Gareth Southgate is.
But that was compared to
Gareth
Roy.
Southgate's is your friend who's in a relationship and he doesn't want to be in, but his girlfriend keeps bullying him and just like, I want to break up. No, you don't. Fine.
Well, Southgate is like I just can't imagine
He
Southgate.
doesn't want the job at all. And
How do you know that?
Because he's basically, if you want the job, everyone comes out and goes, I want it. Gareth Southgate has never come out.
I just don't think
in any
he's
interview.
not really having
And
any interview at all. But
Neil,
I don't think he wants to have
Neil,
publicity.
to say I have to disagree with you. England were atrocious against Scotland and still have managed
They were
to
very
3-0.
bad. They
Were
were
they
very,
very
bad.
Very bad.
From
They
what
got
I
a
saw
few
the second
headers. Like,
Well, they were
They're-
knocking it around the second half because they were fucking 2 or 3-0 up against a terrible team.
Yeah.
I've been big critical of Ireland and Martin O'Neill. Jeez, we'd fucking hammer Scotland the way they're playing at the moment. They've been really bad. Like they actually they have a few good attacking players, Scotland.
Yeah.
And they don't play any of them.
Do you know who else have good attacking players but are very bad? Leicester.
what a great stat is.
Go for it.
I know this stat. I know it.
Leicester have more points in the Champions League than they do
No.
in the Premier League.
This is okay. Here's
that
a
it?
stat for you. How many times has Mahrez had a successful pass to Vardy since September 17th?
0, isn't it?
1.
Was it in this match?
So
1.
Just not a key pass, just a pass.
A pass. A successful pass to Vardy once.
Well, it was the other
So
way
you-
around. It was the other way around with Vardy assisted Mahrez here,
Well,
and Capuy and Piera doing the business for Watford. So
Watford, Leicester. And I know they want to get Ferguson in the Champions League, and they'll never get there again. But they might kind of. It's almost like they're kind of
how are they
playing with fire here.
How are they prioritizing the Champions League?
But
Because
the teams in the Champions League groups they have are so poor.
yeah.
Club Brugge are the worst team I've seen in the Champions League in an awful long time.
Yeah, but
They're terrible.
Yeah, my point is that like it's not like they're really prioritizing it though. Do you know what
Well,
I mean?
they are because they've rested a few players in the Premier League coaches.
Have they?
They have.
Like not players that
Mahrez and stuff was rested.
they have
Drinkwater's
not this week.
Drinkwater's out for 4 matches now. They've no midfield.
I think Watford have been good this year, and I just think teams have figured Leicester out, and Ranieri's not ours because it's still working. The Mahrez, Vardy,
wouldn't
all that
say
sort of
it
stuff
is still working. Like
no, it's still working in the Champions League. It's not working in a.
Like they're getting really sucked into it now, and like if they don't pick up a couple of wins, like they are going to be down there fighting. And a team has won the Premier League has never been in the relegation zone the following season.
Yeah.
Wait,
Chelsea never got there last year. Weren't they there at one stage? No,
they got close with it.
they got close. I think they were like
16th. Yeah.
Leeds were close enough one year. Blackburn were close one year as well, but it's never like
Hodge.
Leicester are actually probably could finish definitely the lowest out of any league winner.
Real deal. We talked about him earlier. He's absolutely back. 2 goals along with Winks scoring on his debut. Not as good as Danny Rose's debut goal, but still very good.
Winks' celebration was one of those that like makes you really enjoy football. Like he absolutely.
Sorry, I
loves
just can't
scoring.
take him seriously. The name Harry Winks, like,
Mr. Winks. I'm telling you, if I ever got a cat, that is the name, Mr. Winks. Like
Mr. Winks is a beautiful name for a
it's a
cat.
great name.
Mr. Winks.
Anyway, back to the match here.
This is the match.
West Ham
like,
showed a bit more pep and vigor.
They were, and like they were unlucky not to win it. Like
Spurs were shite. Spurs were terrible.
Spurs were terrible. This is a match that we'll remember because we've chatted about him in the show. That it could easily be the last match that Janssen ever plays for Spurs.
Did you see how bad he was on Tuesday when he came on?
He was bad.
He had a
actually.
shot from 30 yards out. Yeah. But I mean, literally, I'd say it went like over the fucking stadium. And I'm not been
Dan, we had this a few weeks ago. You were saying he can hold the ball a bit.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He can hold up the ball and try and bring people. He said he's not good when
he's so bad.
He's good when he's got his back to goals. What I said. I said he's not good facing the goal.
Like he has moments. Like Randolph made a few very nice saves. I thought for him, and his shot was deflected for Winks' goal, but like he could not score. Randolph was like in the way. He was hitting some bad shots, and then he gives away the penalty that almost loses the match. Lanzini scores like a great penalty, but Spurs started off the season. Obviously, they're still unbeaten, aren't they?
I don't know how they're still unbeaten.
Somehow they're still
Them
unbeaten.
and Arsenal haven't.
They're still unbeaten.
I've only lost one game.
And
Arsenal have lost one. Spurs are unbeaten, right?
Spurs, yeah, but I just don't understand. Since the opening game of the season, Arsenal haven't lost a game in any competition.
It's actually
And
incredible.
Spurs have only lost one game. It was in Carling Cup against you guys on the Carling Cup reserves.
Yeah.
I don't know how these teams are doing when they're playing so badly.
Spurs were doing well at the start. They were doing okay without Kane because of their defense being so strong. But that's gone now. In midweek, they conceded 2 ridiculous goals. One after they equalised, and this match was just a hoof into the box. It just landed at Antonio, who's the best header of the ball in the league. So
absolutely.
I don't know how he was left free. The penalty was silly as well. Was it Mike Riley who's?
No, it was not Deeney, was it?
Oh, Deeney.
Deeney was the ref, yeah.
Deeney, red card, penalty in the 90th minute.
He loves a red card and a penalty, Mike Dean.
He's having a lovely day.
Did you see him when he didn't give the penalty to the Spurs in the first half? He was like an airplane. He went.
Yeah.
What was that about?
Oh,
he's hilarious.
Mike Deeney.
He's absolutely.
But
Conor
Spurs
McGregor
were
of refereeing.
Spurs were so bad in this game that Randolph made a mistake and Harry Kane scored twice. But it was honestly Spurs were.
I thought Randolph did alright though. He made some good saves.
He
was unlucky with.
He was unlucky, but Spurs were so bad in this match. They've really they're lucky still to be kind of hanging in there. If that makes sense. On top of the league, but them and Arsenal are way behind, even though they're still way ahead of Man United. If that makes sense.
It does. Speaking of top of the league, due to Liverpool's draw, Chelsea had an opportunity to go top, which they did, but narrowly. 1-0 win over Middlesbrough. Chelsea have been averaging 2 to 3 goals a game since switching to 3 at the back. They haven't been conceding. They were able to keep that record alive. But just the 1 goal by Diego Costa, who's the most informed centre forward in the country.
Because Newcastle and Leeds were playing on the Sunday morning, this was the only Premier League match on.
Yeah,
and it's just Saturday. I watched all the matches on Saturday that were on TV, and I was like, this was a good day. This was a good day of football. Then this match was an absolute slog. I think Costa's goal was early enough, but I was like,
yeah.
Oh, it's
Chelsea
like Middlesbrough never
Chelsea are
score.
starting to they actually look solid at the back now.
Yeah.
So like remember before kind of like
What do you mean now? Since they haven't conceded in like
no,
6
but I'm
games.
just saying the last couple of games like you've always thought maybe you could get at them.
No.
The last maybe 3 or 4 games
They have 2 tough
they've
games
been
coming
rock
up now,
solid,
though.
like.
They have I think they've Spurs.
They've
this-
Spurs- they've Spurs this weekend.
Spurs
and
this
then
weekend.
City next weekend.
Yeah.
So like, I think that'll really show because City, I mean Chelsea, they have improved, but
I don't
in the 2 big matches they've played,
I don't think
they've
you're taking
lost.
points away from Stamford Bridge the way they're playing.
Well, all I'm
no
saying
way,
is,
no way.
I'm just saying
You played them at the right time. That's what at Arsenal.
No,
you
Arsenal
guys
did.
at Arsenal played them
100%.
perfectly.
100%.
But the thing
Although
about-
even with 3 at the back, I still think that Hendo goal goes in.
I think
I think we still
the
beat
Chelsea
them,
the way Chelsea are at the moment though, they've won is this 5 in a row, 6 in a row,
6.
6 in a row, and I think no, they've won 5 in a row. I think.
You sure?
I think it is. But if they win 6-0 against Spurs, yeah, I think they've won 5 in a row. If they win 6-0 against Spurs, or they win, or if it's what's the other score? I think there's another score as well. They'll actually win all 6 games in a row: 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, 6-0. The way it'll work out, and it's never happened before in the Premier League. You can win 6 games consecutively by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So not in chronological order, but in any order. But 1 to 6 without conceding.
Right.
So that'd be pretty cool if that can happen.
Right.
So we need a 6-0 win for Chelsea the week. I
How
don't
the
think it'll
fuck
happen.
Did somebody come up with that stat?
I don't
That's
know. I think I
incredible.
read it somewhere, but yeah, no, I think that's pretty innocent.
West Brom shellacked Burnley.
Sean Dyche before this match was using this as a stepping thing. He was giving interviews to the press and going, "Oh, all these foreign managers coming in, you know what I mean? Like Ranieri came in with Leicester and started playing 4-4-2. People gave him like, oh, look at this Tinkerman coming in playing 4-4-2. I had played 4-4-2. Klopp comes in with a pressing game. Y'all act like you've never seen a pressing game before. It's like these damn foreigners. Why aren't big jobs going to like me and Tony?" And then he lost 4-0. And he's like, Ranieri won the league with Leicester last year. Do something impressive and you get a bit of credit. Like, granted, they've City this weekend and City drop points out of
To
Champions
be
League.
fair,
They'll probably
Burnley
beat
are
them.
still doing brilliantly this
No,
season.
I'm not saying they're not, but you just lost 4-0. Don't come out with
I
the
tell you,
damn foreigners are taking our jobs.
West
and then
Brom
get
absolutely hockeyed them. And like
Yeah,
I could,
this is my- I've
for like
played football
Burnley
myself.
shut out Man United, draw against Everton, 1 goal, very unlucky against Arsenal to lose the last kick of the game, and then to lose 4 to West Brom.
Well, they beat Liverpool
Yeah, they shut out, but they actually shut out Liverpool, like
Yeah.
just like defensively
as well.
They were a mess. Like they lost an early goal. Matty Phillips scored a good finish, but they were just all over the place at the back, and it could have been any score. I thought Morrison and Rondon, John, this Rondon fella.
still scoring goals in the league.
He's fucking. I tell you, talking Van Dijk is fast. This guy can fucking run.
He is an
He's
unsung.
really good.
He is an unsung hero. Football 365 did a fantastic article about him, going like, he's fucking West Brom striker. So in very rare instances, is he going to get the credit he
Imagine
deserves?
you actually gave him like a team who got the ball into the box, like and actually attacked.
Yes.
Like West Brom.
He reminds,
Don't really
he
attack,
reminds
they
me a
sit
bit
back.
of like obviously this player's become a bit of a joke recently, but a young Emil Heskey when he was playing for Liverpool, like fast
Yeah, no, he was
and
good. He was
strong
very
and
good at
good
Leicester.
finisher.
Yeah, but the thing is, West Brom scored 4 goals without having a set piece. When's that
Yeah.
ever happened?
Maybe
Like,
they'll
you know?
challenge for the league.
It was one of the better West Brom performances of all times. All right, okay, moving on to Champions League. Tuesday saw Group E in action. CSK Moscow and Bayer Leverkusen drew in Moscow, and Leicester keeping the dream absolutely alive, beating Club Bruges 2-1.
Moscow and Bayern are in Spurs' group, so I see what you're looking at.
Sorry. Porto, Copenhagen. Sorry, where are they at here? There we go.
They're at the bottom, so it's all over
Sorry,
the
that was 0-0. So the table as it stands, Leicester on top with 13 points.
Through.
They're through.
They're
Porto with
Mental.
8, Copenhagen 6, Club Bruges, the worst team Dan's ever seen in the Champions League. Who scored the 2 goals for Leicester? I saw no Champions
It
League this
was,
week. I have not been at home.
Mahrez and Okazaki, I think, wasn't it?
You guys, just to start, like, get your opinion on this. Is this like the worst Champions League season ever?
I'm
Or
going to
is it
say
like
I am
just group?
actually enjoying the Champions League this year, and I'll tell you why. Because if you win the league, you should be a top seed in the Champions League. It's called
Yeah.
the Champions League. You should be rewarded by being a top seed.
Yeah.
That's what they've done. Now, unfortunately for viewers, the Leicester group wouldn't be seen fit in the Europa League. It's not even Europa League group. I don't know how it ended up like that. Like some groups got a bit top heavy. Maybe the Barca Man City group. Juventus Seville, and that's what can happen. But it
But
was.
do,
It was.
you not think that now there's because of maybe the Spanish team's dominance in the last few years, and Bayern have gone down a level, that now it doesn't matter at the group stages? Like this week Champions League, I've watched every other week, and then I've watched the highlights of some matches this week. Granted, because most of the matches didn't really matter. It's who finishes top, whatever. I watched the Spurs match because Spurs could have gone out and did go out, but I just think that the standard is poor. Like the Juventus group has been poor, and the Leicester group has been poor, and the Spurs match has been awful. There was a stage there, I think it was only last week, where teams were getting wins. It was only like mostly draws.
I think to both your points, really, this year more than anything else, because of the way it's been seeded, the teams that you expect to go through are maybe getting an easier ride.
It feels like that.
Well,
maybe
I don't think
just
so.
different
I
separate
disagree
level.
with that. I disagree with that. What I like about it is
I don't dislike it.
generally, besides really the Spurs group and the Leicester group, ironically, they're the two worst. There's actually every team pretty much has two good teams in the group. You start like Arsenal, Paris, Barca, City, Juventus, Seville, Madrid, Dortmund. Bayern, Atletico. Like, I like the way it is like that. And what's happening now is, which I really, really like, Arsenal are probably going to finish second now in their group, judging from last night's result, the 2-2 result. They're probably going to be second. I'm working it out. They are probably going to get Barca, Dortmund, well, the winner of the Dortmund group, or Seville.
Dortmund
or
are
Seville,
winners, I think.
because they can't get the English teams, any other English team.
Oh, right,
And
okay.
they can't face Paris, who are in their group as well. So if you actually work it out, they're going to end up with a really good team. But then maybe they should want to finish, like, they could actually, whatever way it works out, they couldn't really be, some teams would be better finishing second than first, because there's so many good teams in the groups.
Yeah.
Instead of going, we'll top the group and we'll fucking play. I'm just saying Benfica in the next
seed.
round.
Yeah.
Well, you actually, like, who are Bayern Munich going to get? Look at the group.
Yeah.
They could get, Bayern Munich could get Real Madrid. Bayern Munich could get Barcelona. Do you think that could be exciting? I know, obviously, you like to
We've
see the
seen
big
most of
games.
these matches before. Maybe
Yeah, but
that's
I'm just
my
saying,
issue.
like,
maybe
it's
it's
good
gonna be the
to
same
see,
every
though,
year,
instead of
really, isn't
getting- Like, you get more competitive games, and it's kind of interesting where you want to finish in the group. Like it doesn't really matter once you're qualified. The way
Maybe
it
because
is.
the only interesting story, two interesting stories, we'll get back to Spurs going out, but Bayern Munich losing, because what was that stat that Ancelotti has lost 3 games now because they lost to Dortmund this weekend?
Yeah.
Red Bull Leipzig
Yeah,
are top of
Red-
the league.
Red Bull-
And 4 years ago, they were like in the 3rd division.
Yeah.
Red Bull taking them over. They want to take over Leeds as well.
No, I think the link is kind of gone.
Is it? But
The Chinese are coming in, Ted.
by the time Guardiola had lost 3 matches as Bayern Munich manager, they'd already won like a double.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible.
Shows what a
and
great
we-
job Pep did in Bayern Munich.
Well, it does.
Hard tip to win the Champions League.
Yeah,
he also
exactly,
took
yeah.
over a team that won the treble. Ancelotti took over a team of failures.
All right, we'll get to them. Okay, so
Too technically right.
Dinamo Zagreb
Oh no!
lost to Lyon
Wout
1-0.
Weghorst scored for AZ.
Okay, so that's
where?
in the Dundalk game.
Yeah,
All right, that's in Tala tonight, isn't it?
it is.
Okay, Dortmund and Liga Warsaw had the greatest game in the history of the Champions League that wasn't a final. Safe to say?
12 goals.
Yeah,
Like.
it was decent.
It was insanity.
It was 5-2 after like 25 minutes.
It was fucking insanity. This
Uh,
Dortmund team, I tell you.
Royce's first game of the season scores a brace.
I know, yeah.
Hat-trick.
Did you score?
Did
a
he
hat-trick?
score a hat-trick? I thought it was
That was
just
a
two.
hat-trick, no?
I think.
And Aubameyang only played for 20 minutes. Like,
You
he
see
fell
it-
out with the manager
See
as well.
Aubameyang,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
scored.
Who
He
scored as
scored.
manager?
He scored the goal.
Thomas Tittle.
You're close.
Fuck you.
Very close.
Thomas Tuttle.
I'll give it to you. Thomas Tuchel.
Tuchel.
Very
All right. Okay, and also in that group, Sporting lost to Madrid 2-1. So that table stands at Dortmund on 13, Madrid on 11. They'll both go through. And Sporting, Europa League, Liga Warsaw out. The Dynamo Zagreb group as well. Let me see. Also are with Juve and Sevilla. And Juve beat Sevilla away from home 3-1, which is a great result for Juve. Juve have more points in the Italian league this year than they did this time last year. They're going to top the group as well in the Champions League. They're on 11 points, Sevilla on 10, Lyon 7, Europa League, Dynamo Zagreb 0. That's pretty much.
Did you see,
I'd say that's going to.
just
can
on
I
the-
finish the thing?
sorry. No.
Can I tell you the reason that Juve are doing better this year than last year?
The fat man, Higuain.
No, it's the man behind Higuain.
Pjanic.
Pjanic has been a revelation for these guys.
He's really good.
It's unbelievable.
Is he playing like as a number 4? Or is he kind of like a number 10?
More of a number 10, which is strange because they have plenty of people that
He's
can
got to
play
take a
that role.
Pogba, direct replacement for Pogba then, because Pogba was playing quite high up.
Last year he was, yeah.
Yeah.
So no, it is a direct.
So you have
replacement.
Khedira and Marquisio behind him.
Yep. And then his Spurs was on the first night as well. Yeah. So then we had CSK Moscow and Bayer Leverkusen. We talked about that. Monaco, who Dan would not believe me when I said they'd beat Spurs, have beaten Spurs. You did when I said Spurs are a tough group.
Beat them twice.
This
to be
Yaya
fair-
Toure, and what was the other thing? There's 3 things now. Janssen.
Harry knows it.
You need to listen to me.
Was good at his back to goal.
The
I
man
never said
does-
he was good going forward.
The man doesn't watch football, but he knows the stuff.
Exactly.
And I never said Yaya was
Stop
shite.
pushing
I
this
said
narrative,
Yaya
please.
just doesn't give a shit, and he's not
Stop
worth
pushing this
having.
narrative.
I'm
The message
joking.
board.
The message boards are on fire. All right, Monaco beating Spurs. Spurs officially out.
Falcao missed the penalty.
Spurs have been
I completely forgot
awful.
he existed.
Spurs the
He played
last
for
time,
Man United for a while.
I know, and he's been
And
doing,
Chelsea.
He's been doing, and Chelsea. He's been doing very good since he went back to Monaco. By the way, last time Spurs were in Champions League,
Madrid hammered them in the quarterfinal.
they got to the
Was that the
quarterfinal.
last time?
Yeah, like they literally waited 6 years,
Rovers,
6 years.
Rovers were in their group.
No, it was Europa League. That was the year after.
Shit.
Oh
Yeah. Okay.
They waited 5-6 years to get to the Champions League, and
They've been
they were probably, along with Club Brugge, one of the worst teams.
The-
If you got the 4 worst teams in
Dinamo Zagreb.
Maybe the
Zag-
young
fuck
team showed a
Zagreb.
lot of inexperience. Maybe they don't care. It seems very weird.
but they're really weak. He rested players.
I think
He rested people at the back. He had Dyer and Wimmer, and I saw Wimmer firsthand in Austria. He was very, very poor.
I think
very poor.
I think losing the league
It's a hangover.
last year it's absolutely killed them. They just have not been to
They
the same
haven't
level.
lost yet.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Like they haven't. We're coming into December and they haven't lost a
They're,
game in the
they're
league.
going to lose. I'd
I'm
imagine.
not
I'd
saying they're
imagine.
not gonna keep it up,
I'd imagine they're going to lose on Saturday. They got the equaliser.
Yeah.
Harry Kane. It might have been a penalty. Was it a penalty? It was a penalty. I
Yeah.
think
They scored
And then-
2 goals from open play in the last 9 goals.
probably
All
something like
penalties.
that. And then they conceded a goal straight off. And like I text my friend. I was like, "Here, what's going on?" They're just awful. Like one of their best players of last year, Ali, was just something awful as well.
Ali is no longer great. Okay, let's start picking up the pace here. We're already an hour in, so people are going to get angry already somehow. Okay, Group D, we had Celtic hosting Barcelona. It wasn't 7-0, it was 2-0. Brendan came out after the match and said, we would have won that game if we had Messi.
It's the most outrageous comment.
No, the most outrageous comment was the pre-match interview where they went, "What do you think is harder to believe, Brendan? The Loch Ness Monster or Messi?"
Oh yeah,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and even Brendan got to turn around going,
that's the
stupidest question.
stupidest question I've ever heard.
Or when Ferguson was asked it after the Champions League final, it's like, Barcelona are very good. It's one of the best technical teams we've ever seen. If you could pick one player to be on the Man United team, who would you pick? What kind of a stupid question is that? I don't know. Mascherano.
Mönchengladbach held City to a draw. Great result for them, I suppose.
I think the groups are pretty much set now. Actually, no, if Celtic beat Mönchengladbach at home, they
They
get
could get Europa League.
So.
But besides that, you got Barca topping it, City, Mönchengladbach,
Celtic fans
Celtic.
are great, to be fair to them.
I feel sorry for them. Like, your man Dembele is really good. And Rodgers, to be fair, he's doing a good job there. He's getting his reputation back. I'd like to think.
Do you really think so?
Yeah.
Well, but if you take the 7-0 game out of it, they haven't disgraced themselves in the Champions League, and that's a pretty good achievement for me.
That was Group C. Group D, top by Atletico, Bayern behind in ninth.
Bayern lost to Rostov.
Yeah, Bayern lost to Rostov 3-2 in a pretty competitive game, but they still lost. They
So
were playing
Atletico
well.
were outright top.
Atletico outright top after beating Eindhoven 2-0.
Five-
Carrasco had a hell of a game.
5 wins in 5. Sure.
Yep. And moving
Hopefully
on.
this year will be their year, but they'll probably lose to Madrid in the final again.
Napoli, and this has just been very, very
How
even.
is this a group?
Yeah.
How has this happened?
Napoli, Benfica are both on 8 points. Besiktas in third on 7. So
Benfica-
It's not as bad as Leicester's group. Leicester's group.
Benfica and Besiktas.
all to play for.
Benfica took a 3-0 lead and it ended 3-all. Quaresma did it with a Bona assist. That is all.
Yeah.
That's all I know from this.
And then Group A. So PSG and Arsenal. Giroud got his start,
He's got a penalty.
albeit in the Champions League.
They're shit though.
They were
Cavani
go-
is the worst
Best player in the world.
worst starting striker for a top European team.
He scored though.
Yeah, but he misses so many
He
chances.
missed an open goal in the first leg they played against you.
Yeah,
He missed an
oh,
open
yeah,
goal.
He's been bad. Like, granted, I don't watch a lot of Italian league. As far as I know, Balotelli's top goal scorer, but he's just missing a lot
He
of
plays
chances.
for
In the
France.
Italian league.
Plays in
French
France.
league. That's what I meant. I was talking about Cavani. You know what I mean?
Isn't Balotelli top of the league now?
Nice.
Yeah, he's been top of the league
Yeah.
for a while.
Wait, Balotelli.
Him and Dante are top of the league.
I told you. You never listen.
I think I should give up this
Balotelli
game.
said if Nice win, Balotelli said if they win the league, he'll fly a helicopter over Nice. And he says the Nice fans are better than Liverpool fans. We can all agree.
Well, he would say that.
They're nice.
Very good. All right. I can't believe we're an hour in. We have to do this now. Steve Gerrard retired today.
Oh, again.
Third time retiring.
Third time. Do you remember, we feel like we've done 3 of these shows. One of our early shows, he said he was leaving Liverpool. We had a big old sad day.
Yeah.
And then,
I was last.
and then he played his last game. Me and Neil watched it here. We were wearing our Liverpool jerseys. We wanted to say goodbye to him like a champ. And then Zaha, Balassi made him look, and Punchin and Glenn Murray made Steven Gerrard look like he had a fucking walker and had no right
That
playing
was,
in the
that was
Premier
his
League.
last home game.
And then
let's be fair.
Money
Last
Essa
time
left him
game.
running
Yeah,
for
we
Stoke.
can't dismiss the most underrated story of the last 5 years that the FA paid off Stoke City to let Steve Gerrard score.
It was Eric Money Essa let him run in.
So I'm just to this day I'm not going to.
But Gerrard
think
can't
anything
run
is
fast, and Money Essa was barely jogging.
He fell over.
He gave an interview today saying that he couldn't keep up with players in America.
Really?
Uh,
I said the
you know
last
what I
good match Gerrard had was against all those kids.
I think they lost that, mate.
Yeah, obviously.
Robbie did his work, you know. That's why he's getting a
Stop.
big move to Rovers.
Yeah, big
Look,
move.
Gerrard had fun. He got his money. He retired.
Okay, well this
I'm
is his
done.
actual.
Can I
official
say a
retirement.
good thing
You're
now?
done. You're done. That's it.
I'm done.
Can I say
Alright.
though a good thing? He was actually the MK Don's job he was actually looking at. I'm glad he just didn't like do a Ryan Giggs and expect to be a fucking Premier League manager. You know,
Well,
that
I'm
horrendous
also-
Ryan
I'm
Giggs.
also-
Fair,
also
Ryan
glad he
Giggs has
didn't
actually
take it.
Ryan Giggs has actually managed Man United in a couple of Premier League
He
games.
managed them. He managed them
Still.
for 5 or 6 games because no one else was there,
I'm-
and it was
I'm-
to get the fans back on
I'm
side.
glad
That was
Gerrard.
a clear
I'm
thing.
very
to do.
glad Gerrard didn't take it.
That's what I'm saying. No, if he wanted to take, I'm just saying he obviously didn't agree with what they were doing.
Does
But
he have
I'm
his
glad he
badges?
doesn't expect to be manager
Yeah,
of fucking a big team like Ryan Giggs wanting the Swansea job for no experience.
I like how Klopp has snapped.
Yeah.
I think he'll go back to Liverpool. I'd
No,
say this
I mean,
summer.
like,
This
they
summer.
keep
By
asking Klopp.
this time next year, he'll be a coach / ambassador.
They keep. They asked Klopp today, like, what do you think about Steven Gerrard's retirement? He's like, stop asking about Steven Gerrard. That's how him play once. He was grand.
Fair. I guess because it's his official retirement, I'll just say he was great. Got me back into football. Probably the most entertaining English midfield player of the last few years. When he was
football in
great.
the last few weeks.
No, yeah, the last few weeks. When I saw that, when I saw that game against
Joey
kids,
Barton.
huh?
Joey Barton or something.
I don't mean off-field entertaining. Although I do love him more because he punched a DJ who didn't play Phil Collins. As simple as that.
We've
Pushed
all-
him into
we've all-
legend
we've all-
status for me.
We've all been there.
Okay, awards time now. Okay, Dan, your goal of the week.
Actually thought Pereira got a lovely goal with Watford.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna give it to him. Well done, Pereira.
All right, John, goal of the week.
It wasn't a great goal, but I enjoyed the celebration so much. I'm giving it to Winks.
I thought you would. Your spoofer of the week, John.
Spoof for the Rio Ferdinand. Did you see this?
Oh, the Harry Kane thing.
No,
He
Rio.
should be on the same money as Aguero,
Yeah, he's also twice the player Janis Sturridge.
but he's a better player.
Well, I agree with
Ouch.
I agree with both those things. Why shouldn't he?
Really?
Be? He's been top
he's
goal
better.
scorer.
Yes,
He's been top goal scorer in the Premier League the last 2 years.
he's
Like,
definitely
go-
better than Sturridge.
Sturridge
He's
has been
better
playing
than Aguero.
FIFA in a hospital bed last season, so we don't know.
Sturridge has been fit for a
No,
long time.
Rio Ferdinand was
On his level,
Rio
yeah.
Ferdinand was getting driven around somewhere. You couldn't really tell, but he was tweeting the Arsenal United match. And he was like, "Oh, United are better," all that sort of stuff. And then Mattis scored, and he like recorded himself in video going, "What do you think about that, Arsenal fans? 1-0 Matt away." And then the Drew goal. And fair play to him, he recorded another video being like, but I'm sticking with Spoofer. I enjoyed that, but
Okay, Dan, spoofer.
Giroud. Even though he's doing well in front of the goal, but apparently he's terrified of Elf. Or Alf, sorry, Alf.
Wait a minute. First off, we talked about this
Did
like
we?
2 shows ago.
Oh well,
can
I
we
wasn't
talk about it
listening.
now?
We talk about it again.
We talked about what Alf would be like in French and how it might be potentially terrifying.
Oh yeah, spoof for the week. Me for saying that.
Okay.
I have
Right.
3 Spoofers.
Oh, another hero of the week, by the way, is Ronaldo. Really good hat trick against Atletico Madrid.
Another.
Atletico Madrid.
No, I
3-0.
mean, I know it's his 42nd hat trick or
Something
something.
that's insane.
But
If we want to talk about derbies, Ronaldo got a hat trick there. Aubameyang scored against Bayern Munich to beat them 1-0 and did a push-up. And Liverpool legend Suso scored a brace against Inter Milan for AC Milan.
Suso's doing good. But you said another hero. Who got the first hero of the week? We haven't done that yet.
Yeah,
Dan,
good
who's your hero of the week?
Me.
All right, John, your spoofers there and all that.
Oh well, my two other spoofers I had Rio Ferdinand. The Liverpool player wearing the third kit that passed out to the steward who was wearing the same colours.
Sorry.
The Liverpool reserves were playing a game and they were wearing that lovely highlighter green kit that I bought the other day because I love it.
That was Chesterfield.
No, it was Liverpool. It was against Chesterfield. It was Liverpool that did it.
Oh, was it? Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
And the steward was out on the side wearing the big highlighter jacket. And the Liverpool midfielder gets the ball, looks out and sees what he thinks is the running left back.
Because he had your man had the same colour. Aren't they dark shorts as well?
Same colour.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's fucking brilliant.
Another one was Michelin's goalkeeper took a goal kick and he just kicked it as hard as he could, which as you do. He kicked it as hard as he could and then the ball just gets caught in the wind and starts coming back. And then as a goalkeeper's like, well, I guess I get to try this again. So he just caught it. And the ref gave him an indirect free kick because obviously you can't.
And they conceded from it, did they?
I don't know if they could.
I don't think
they
it went wide, but
conceded.
yeah, you can't pick up the ball once you kicked it, like, you know.
Okay, excellent. All right, now, me and Dan have to guess the correct answer to your teaser.
Oh, I had a hero of the week.
Oh, sorry, John. I'm just getting...
You got a teaser.
Dan's confused.
No, I don't have a teaser.
He doesn't have a teaser.
So I'll skip the teaser. I was unprepared.
Oh, we have to wait a whole week.
Oh,
All right, go on.
Okay, my hero of the week is Thomas Muller during the international break said, "Why do we have to play San Marino? It's silly." Right? And San Marino were taking this and being like, I'm not taking this. So I wrote a letter. So I'm gonna read the letter.
John loves reading letters and this, so.
This fucking show will never end.
Fuck off if you think it's too short. This is great. It's great stuff.
I
Dear
don't think it's too short. Anyway, go on.
Too long. Go fuck yourself. Don't listen. Dearest Thomas Muller, you're right. The game like that on Friday. Yeah, dearest Thomas Muller, it says it right. You're right. The game like that on Friday night, they're nothing to you. And on the other hand, dear Thomas, you need to come to San Marino for almost nothing in a weekend in which, without the Bundesliga, you could have spent with your wife on a sofa in a luxury villa, and who knows, you could have taken part in some events organised by your sponsors to bank several thousand euros. I believe you, but allow me 10 good reasons why I think San Marino Germany match was very useful. If you could only think about it and let me know what you think. It served to show you, it served to show that even against teams as poor as ours, you can't score a goal.
Did that actually happen? Yes.
That's the first point, yeah.
Okay.
And don't say you weren't pissed when you when Simonsi stopped you from scoring. 2, it served to make clear to your managers, even Beckenbauer and Rummenigge, that football is not owned by them, but by all of who love it, among which, like it or not, we are included. It served to remind hundreds of journalists from all over Europe that there are still guys who follow their dreams and not your rules. It served to confirm that you Germans will never change, and that history has taught you that bullying is not always a guaranteed victory.
Come on.
You never mention the war.
No.
5, it served to show that 200 guys in San Marino who play the game for whatever reason, why their coaches ask them to always work their hardest. Who knows? Maybe one day all their sacrifice will be repaid with a game against the champions of the world. It served to your federation, also to ours, to collect money of image rights, which, in addition to paying you for your trouble, they can build pitches for kids of their own country, schools, and make football stadiums safer. Our federation, I'll let you in a secret, is building a new football pitch in a remote village called... I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. You could build it in 6 months under your salary. We'll do it. We'll do it the rights of 90 minutes of this game. Not bad, right? It served... It is. It served to a country as big as your pitch in Munich to go in the paper for a good reason, and a football match is always a good reason. It served to your friend Nabry to begin with a win in his national team, scoring 3 goals. It served finally. I just like this letter. It served to make you realise that even if you wear the most beautiful Adidas kiss underneath, you're always ones to put the white socks underneath your sandals. With love, your Alan.
Well, it's a 5-star letter if you didn't bring up the war.
Yeah.
is what I'd say.
But yeah, there's no need for that.
No need. And I would love to hear Dear Thomas's response
Yeah.
whenever it's available.
I'll keep updated with it.
Thank you, John. All right, moving on to fantasy. Let's see here. Reg is in last place. Tommy, did Tommy do something? Or did Reg just quit?
Why?
Because he's in 16th now.
Little column A, little column B.
All right.
Well, they're on the same points, so.
Okay, that's very
Both
true.
shit.
Ouch. Robin 15th, Becky in 14th, Dave Rogers in 13th, Shane Hart in 12th, Darren Hillard moves up to 11th, Ron O'Reilly sticking on 10, as is Regis on 9 and Noel Keeley respectively on 8. I've gone down to 7th. James Byrne has gone ahead of me into 6th, Dan has gone down into 5th, John is in 4th Champions League spot. Me and Dan are duking it out for Europa. Dave Nolte in 3rd place. 1 point ahead of him in 2nd is Kenny Murphy, who's actually...
What's Kenny doing
Ken's
up there?
really shot up, actually, yeah.
I
hasn't
think he should be up there at all.
And Stephen Vincent,
He's just a man.
still riding high. 22 points ahead of Kenny in 1st place with big, hard decks.
Dicks.
All right, guys. Dundalk are still 1-0 down in Tala as it stands right now. We'll be back next week with all of the Premier League news and reviews, and we'll be also talking all of the going-ons in football. Excuse me? Leeds Liverpool. What day is that?
Tuesday, I think.
Tuesday.
Oh my God.
Leeds Liverpool Tuesday.
We'll be doing a show next Thursday.
I won't be
Obviously.
here next Thursday.
Oh my God.
Where are you going?
Okay,
So
we'll
rehearsal for my sister's wedding.
Okay, we'll just. Oh,
Fuck
how
this is more
American?
important.
Are they having a rehearsal dinner?
No, it's a rehearsal the whole thing because I have to do a reading. I have to be like, dear Jesus, please allow this
Dearest
to be-
Thomas Muller.
Dearest Thomas Muller.
Just do that, please.
Don't mention the war.
Dearest Thomas Muller, and read your man's fucking retirement letter as well while you're at it.
Pat Flynn.
Pat Flynn. Okay, guys, if you enjoyed the show, please follow us on Twitter at ITK Soccer Show, Facebook.com/ITK Soccer Show, also ITK Soccer Show on YouTube, where you can find all our archives if you want to go back and listen to how much we forget that we say. And, you know, specifically looking at Dan here and his French Alf. Until then, enjoy all the football, and we'll be back at some stage next
Back
week.
in Pog form.
If we can figure it out. Pog back?